Hello, I'm Kate Pagan. I'm the Chief Nursing Information Officer. The videos you will see next contain my friend and colleague, the late Dr. Paul Southern. He was the key driving force in the EPR programme and was passionate about patient care and safety and the way that it supports it. We felt that continuing to use these clips would be a good way to continue his legacy. I'm sure that he would be very proud to continue to be a part of this important programme.
Hello, my name is Paul Southern and I'm the Associate Medical Director for Informatics. I'm going to briefly talk today in this video about signing not saving and why this is really important. If we turn to EPR, we can pretend I've been to see a patient on the ward and I'm going to record my consult notes. I'm going to do this using clinician notes. I'm going to add a new note and I'm going to call it gastroenterology consult and I'm going to say hepatology review. I'm going to type some words of wisdom in here. Very yellow. Looks poorly. Needs tests. So I've documented my extensive assessment of the patient and I've now got three options. If I think this is entirely wrong, I can click cancel. This will delete this note from the system. It will never be saved to the system and not available for recovery. If I click sign, this commits the note to the system for everybody to see and to use. There's two other options here. There's save and closed. So if I click save, it just saves my work and I can continue on doing this. If I click save and close, this is probably like save quite dangerous because it closes, and if I go into the patient's documentation record and we refresh it, there's that review I've just done, and to me that looks as if that's available to everybody else, and this is where the problem lies, because when I've saved a note, either saved it and manually closed the record, the note, or if I've saved and closed it, it looks to me in documentation as if it's available to everybody, but in actual fact it's only available to me. So how do you know that you've got documents that are saved? Well, there's two real ways you know this. Number one is in the real system. There's a bar up here that has abnormal, critical. This is talking about blood result, radiology results, and also a box here that says saved. And this tells you the number of saved documents you have. You can also check by going to Message Center. So if I click Message Center, I can then see over the last 90 days, for example, that I have one saved document, which is the one we've just done. So if you go now into your message centers and do this, and you see you've got lots of saved documents, if you then double click on the first document, you will then get to see what you've recorded. And if this is correct, then you should just OK next, and this signs the document for you and puts it into the system. It's really important that you do not save documents. There are very few circumstances where you should need to save documents. Examples of this would be if you're in the middle of documenting somebody's care and there's an emergency on the ward, you might want to save it. Or if you're in the middle of documenting care and you get asked to look at something else urgently by a colleague, again, you might want to save it there, but you must go straight back to it and complete it. You can, of course, use this facility if you're preparing a note. My example would be, if I go back to this patient, if I was preparing an MDT note for this patient, I click Clinical Notes, New. I normally save it as Cancer MDT, liver, and then I have a little document that I use called #MDT. I then fill in some details there. And then I then save and close it, and then when I'm actually in the MDT, I then use the saved work list as where my documents are, so I know where they are, and I just double click them, go into it. I then might want to modify it and add in the outcome of the MDT. But it is really important that we all get into very good habits of checking our saved documents and making sure that at the end of every day that this section has absolutely no patients in it. But the anxiety if you do not do this is there is potentially important clinical information that may be missing from this patient's record. When we've done some audit work, we've found some colleagues have got over 900 saved documents, which pretty much means everything they've ever written in EPR has been saved, not signed, meaning none of that information is available to others. So please remember, sign, not save, all the time.